Today I'm going to tie a pattern that I call the AP Mercury Optimidge. The Optimidge is a pretty popular pattern up there in the Eastern Sierras. Started off there in the Trout fitter. I've kind of just tweaked it out a little bit to my liking, as I do to most patterns, kind of giving my own little flavor. So in this case I put a Mercury bead out in front and I tied it up a little bit differently than what is done there by the guys there at the Trout fitter. So go ahead and put in my hook of choice for this fly. In this case I like to use a 2499 SPBL Tiemco hook. This is a nice big wide gape, and this is a size 16. Out in front I have a small Mercury bead, which is all it is basically a clear bead with a silver lining. So I'm going to go ahead and tie this pattern up. What I like to do is put a little bit of a gill out in front of this pattern. You can use a lot of different materials for that. You can use ostrich hurl and all kinds of different stuff. What I've kind of liking now these days is just a little bit of a floral fiber. Floral fiber is kind of a cool material. It gives off tons of light, super shiny thing, and it's really nice. So just kind of go there, and nothing too crazy. Just get the floral fiber on, something like that. Now get the bead there, slide it right over, and you got your nice little gills out in front. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's messy, but something like that is kind of cool. And then you just trim down to whatever size you like. That's probably fine as there. Good to go. And so now that the gills are on, let's go ahead and tie this pattern up. So what I like to do next is just come in with some gray thread. In this case I am using a UTC 70 because it is a larger hook, and I'm going to save my nice, really super gutter bra thread for kind of those micro midges, 18, 20, 22s, etc. This pattern I'm doing today, I'm doing a bit of navy blue floss with some small gray wire. And what I like about this pattern is that it does give a nice two-tone effect to your fly. So you can kind of see here I have a dark blue and I have gray. In the end you'll see how all these materials combine to make a nice fly. Give kind of the fish a double look at this thing, a double color. So if they're not taking the blue, maybe they're taking the gray, and vice versa. I do like to use the gray wire rather than the straight white wire for this pattern. I think it gives a nicer color, and the gray wire, in this case, the ultra wire, it's not really too gray. It's not really too white. It's kind of like almost like an off-white, and I do like how that looks. So what I've done now is I've just kind of put a little taper into my body. I think it's looking pretty good. And this is the one little trick that I like to do with this. With this floss, what's kind of cool is once it's tied in, you can kind of see it makes for a nice skinny profile of that fly. I mean, you could have tied two pieces of wire in for almost the same effect, as you're going to see in the next few minutes here. But I like the floss because the floss allows me to have a nice thin body of my fly. So I'm going to come in here now with I have a bit of a rotating hackle plier. Kind of see this little thing I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and attach the bottom end of my floss there. And all I'm doing is I'm creating a floss rope. Just basically just twisting and twisting and twisting. And what you can do is you can make basically whatever color floss you can buy. You can make these nice floss, basically wires. What I do now is come in with a bit of a different hackle plier. And just kind of grab that. This will now keep it all nice and tight. And I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up now, the shank. What I like to do now is take a couple of turns out of it so it doesn't kink up so much. Something like that. Nothing too crazy. Do one wrap around. Come back under. Like that. There we go. Take it back up vertically. Catch it with your finger. Bring up that wire. And then right there, catch it again. And all I'm doing is I'm taking that up, the shank. This is my blue floss. On like really small patterns, you can do the whole patterns with both, just making these floss ropes, and basically tying off and getting two different colors for your flies. So it does make a kind of a cool effect. And with the floss, what I like to do is, you know, floss comes in a pretty big size. What I do is I just kind of divide it up, and by doing that, I can create whatever size wire or rope that I need for my pattern. So there it is. The floss rope is up. Now I'm going to come in. Now this is my wire. All I'm going to do now is going to go in between. See that there? I'm going in between now the floss rope that I've just created. So again, just put your finger there, catch those points, come back right there, catch it back up. Just going in between the floss rope to the head, something like that. Simply just now going to tie it off. Tie off the wire. I'm coming here now and cut this off. Something like that. Save that other piece of wire there for the next fly. And pretty much you can fish this fly exactly how it is. But I like to do a little bit of a trick. I like to come in here and, not really a trick. It's just basically that adds a little bit of a nice break from the head to the body of the fly. All I'm doing, I'm going to get two fibers of pheasant tail. In this case, I do like the color green. I'm going to tie it right behind the bead. Hopefully catch it right, which I think I did. We're good to go. And go ahead, grab my little hackle plier. Couple twists, that's all I need. Keep it kind of twisted there, yep. Looking good. Now go ahead. And that's it. So what I have now is I have a two-tone body. I have a navy blue with a gray wire, and I have that pheasant tail hackle or fibers to do the break in the body. And I'm just going to go in here, do a nice little whip finish behind the bead. There you have it. You have a Optimidge, an AP. I'll call it an AP because I made a couple modifications to this thing. Optimidge, which is a Mercury, has a Mercury bead, has that bit of a nice little gill effect out in front, which I do like. And the last little thing I like to do is just hit it with some Zap-A-Gap. Best in this case is use your bodkin, because you can get a nice little distributing of the Zap-A-Gap there on the body. And this also really reinforces that floss wire. You have to do it, or else if you don't do this one step here, when you end up catching with that nice trout, the first one, this fly won't be worth much for the second one. So you do have to put that on there. And it does make a nice little effect to that fly. So there you go. This is the Optimidge there, tied a little differently than you probably see in the fly shops. like to keep them nice and thin with that Mercury bead. It's looking pretty good. Thanks for watching. Happy tying to you. Thanks. Bye.